In Tempo, they're known for their play on Dragonshire, so it's going to be very much in their favor considering this is by far their favorite battleground. Complexity realizes the power of Uther and instantly bans him out.
Dragonshire is a map where you want to have small skirmishes, and Tyrande is also going to get addressed here because she just does so much damage in all of those small little rotations.
Yeah, they've obviously been paying attention backstage, seeing that Tyrande is a large part of their compositions. They do like that Arthas quite a bit. We'll see if that ends up playing a factor early part in this draft, but still always got to look at the fact that Zeratul is on the table.
Complexity also may want to go for Rexxar. We've seen in some scrims before that they actually rock the Rexxar really well. We've also seen all of this weekend, but Jaina, a tier 1 hero recently, will also get that attention from Complexity.
So when you see Jaina picked up here, Kubi, we know that Zeratul's probably going to be picked up by Tempo Storm. I mean, Zuna is so strong on the hero. Do you think they're also going to try to snipe Johanna, considering the pairing of Jaina Johanna?
Yes, it makes for a very good rotation, even just between those two heroes. And we talk about Dragonshire, the battleground, rotations are so important. It's really what's going to allow you to control that objective and ultimately push to that core.
You're right, Jake. Then we have the Zeratul for Tempo Storm. Zuna's probably going to play that one. Leoric, he is not addressed yet, and Leoric provides so much wave clear mechanic. He doesn't even need a talent to go into that department right there. And there we go. Leoric, Zeratul, whooping a pick up here for Tempo Storm.
Very strong lineup to start. The fact that Zuna is going to get his favorite and strongest hero in Zeratul, that's got to put Complexity on a little bit of a tilt, but they put themselves in this spot. They know this is going to be a possibility grabbing Jaina first.
Now, I love the fact that they went for Leoric or Johanna, right? Either or it works because they put that threat of Asmodee here on Dragonshire. Such a strong hero, getting those the stacks here for that Globe of Annihilation with the level 1 talent, Taste for Blood. Definitely a threat here in the matchup.
Also, Complexity now, they have to decide if they want to go for Johanna, but they're going to get Vala first, and that's a snatch, because we know Tempo Storm, they rock that Vala really hard. So Complexity, they're coming to here prepared with double range damage dealers.
And they're going to lock in their warrior, at the very least their first warrior. We know they have the potential to grab more in the later parts of this draft, but Johanna also, Jake, like you were mentioning earlier, pairs very well with Jaina for those rotations.
You know, that Vala is actually pretty early, though. It feels like a comfort pick, just the power up straight from the back lane. We have Johanna in the front. But it's nice to get your assassins locked in early like this. Now they can opt to try to go for Kerrigan, since Tempo Storm did not ban that out. And it's very unlikely that Tempo would run Kerrigan with Zeratul. So Complexity, they set themselves up really nicely in this draft.
We've seen 2 Arthas from Complexity in the match before this one here, and that's also going to get banned up from Tempo Storm. Uther, he fell through the crack, and no team picked him up. Uther's not also going to get any action in this first game, but Tempo Storm, they have to get an idea now. They have 2 picks, and what do you think these picks is going to be?
So this is actually interesting. I really want to point this out, the fact that Vala has been picked up, Jaina on Complexity's side, the banning of Kael'thas. This really puts Tempo Storm to grab, yes, Zagara as one of their damage dealers. I'll be honest with you guys, their Zagara play has not looked as strong as it used to.
Right, so in the last tournament where we saw Tempo face off in the finals, KO was missing most of his Maws. And it definitely got to his head, right? It really affected his gameplay in the grand scheme of things. But today, I feel like the team is feeling confident. They always play better on land, and I think his Maws will be on point. I believe in KO.
Also, this also means we're going to have 2 controls, right? Maw and Void Prison is going to be a very, very good in terms of controlling very specific spots on this battleground, most notably those 2 shrines.
You're right. I was just about to say Dragonshire is a map that Tempo Storm has a lot of a good win rate on, and they know exactly how to rock this battleground. We've got Malfurion coming in as well to provide a sustained heal for Tempo Storm. It looks to be pretty okay. Complexity, if they really want to match up this kind of sustained heal, they have to go for Rehgar, or are we going to see something a little bit different here?
The potential with these Maws, following up with a root, the March of the Plague King could be actually just insane here. I mean, there is no escaping if you're rooted to the ground in these scenarios. So Tempo's got a really strong draft so far.
Yeah, like you were mentioning, Babe, we'll still need to lock in that support for Complexity. The question is, after that, are they going to run an additional warrior? Are they going to run the triple damage? I would think it's going to be that warrior. It will be a Nubarak. Are they going to pair this with Rehgar or something a little bit different?
So Nubarak is getting picked up here because Arthas is banned, and it will be the Rehgar, and that's really good. It's kind of like, you know, getting some sustained heal. Rehgar's not as good as a sustained healer because you are expecting him to get those talents level 13 and 16 to get those extra healed value right there. And early game Malfurion, once he gets those heals going at level 10, Tranquility is going to help the team sustain a lot better. Complexity, they look like they want to have the late game advantage here.
You know, stylistically though, Complexity, they'd love to run Johanna with a Nubarak, probably more than Arthas even, just because of the power when you get that big condemn, you follow up with the Burrow charge. It's such a big combo. The damage output is rather high, but we talked about Azmodan earlier. He will be picked up here on Dragonshire.
Azmodan with that taste for blood ability picked up on the Globe of Annihilation. We're going to be looking to see Tempo Storm making a lot of those rotations between mid and bottom lane to power up the ability. If they can really start to catapult this a little bit further forward, they can really start to wail away at the backline. Here's the other thing that pairs so well with this is Zeratul. He can sneak in that backline, get in the shadows pretty safely, and the fact that he's there with those globes is going to be a very scary fact for Complexity.
I'm pumped up for this game right here. We're seeing some dunks coming in. Azmodan is going to be in this game. Dragonshire is the battleground, and I think we're ready. Jake, what do you think?
This is just so fitting. Tempo Storm is the team that invented the Azmodan stacking composition where you build up that Globe of Annihilation for the late game. And here on Dragonshire, their best battleground, going with one of their original strategies that really shook the entire hero scene globally, I couldn't be more excited.
All right, thank you so much, Jake. We'll be talking to you a little bit later. Let's head on over to game number 1. This is the first qualification match for BlizzCon.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, make some noise. Tempo Storm Complexity. Game 1, we're going in to Dragonshire. On the blue team, we got those Lightning and Cloud. Tempo Storm's going to be here. Zuna will be on to the Zeratul. We got Soldier playing as the Leoric. Opulon will be on to the Azmodan. KO playing as Zagara. And Dreadnought as the healer will be the Malfurion.
Okay, looks like we do have a little bit of a pause, folks. We'll try to get that sorted out for you in just a moment. So, baby, we got to talk a little bit about some of these compositions, especially the Azmodan Zeratul. It's just something we have not seen at all this event so far. How do you think the impact is going to be on Complexity? Maybe they haven't played against it in a while.
I think this is a very interesting, pick here, and I think the crowd's gonna love this one. Azmodan, you must be kidding me. Like what Jake said. This is something that's really good for Tempo Storm. They're the ones who invented this kind of lineup, and this is the map that they have a ridiculous win rate on. With this amount of stacks going in, you have a very awesome kind of setup here. Lior's gonna clear the wave really well, and those stacks will come in really fast. Can Complexity react? I was expecting a little bit of a Rexxar pick here because they are rocking Rexxar really good this weekend. And Rexxar, he is also good in the early stages where he can provide a kind of lane clear. But here we're not going to see Rexxar and Complexity. They look like they have the late game advantage as compared to the early game. Could be tricky here.
So just to update you guys a little bit, it looks like as though we do have a real small mechanical equipment malfunction for one of the players. So we're going to try to get that equipment swapped out as fast as we can to get into this first game. We brought up some really good points, Babel, about this Azmodan composition in the back. And I want to talk a little bit more about Complexity's draft and what they went for. Nothing really too crazy, nothing that we have seen too much of in terms of like, the Rexxar trying to throw Tempo Storm off. They really just actually tried to grab a lot of their damage picks to just try to limit what they have and maybe make them feel a little bit uncomfortable in that sense.
Yeah, Mel, we're just looking at a possible late game here, and theoretically speaking, if we move past level 16, you're going to see Azmodan with those stacks really, really high. And with that going on, I do believe we've got the game ready. We're going back into it right now. We've got Tempo Storm with those late game potential. Complexity looking like they want to take the fight there. I'm not so sure about this myself because we have this kind of fight potential. But Kubi, please take it away on Complexity.
On the right side of the map for the red team, we do have Complexity. Caterpillar is going to be on the Johanna. Blinks will be playing Rhaegar. Hans is going to be on the Anubarak. In the bottom, we do have Jaximus on the Bala, and Trouble will be playing Jaina.
So here we go. Game 1 is very important for both of these teams because we both know that this is the BlizzCon qualification match right here. Whoever wins this series will be able to go to BlizzCon. And oh my God, Soldier getting caught off guard already. There goes Derek Rainbow. He's going to be fine for now.
Really just trying to make a statement. I agree with what Complexity is doing here. They have the stronger level 1 fight between Johanna being able to move forward, but really the big deal is Jaina. She has so much power in her base kit. It's absolutely given the right for Complexity to get aggressive in the early game. And they absolutely have to do this because of Azmodan. If they let him start to run away by stacking up those Globes of Annihilation, it's going to be big trouble in the late game.
Yeah, and also because they went with a bit of Johanna, Pinker, and Underbrag, no Tyrael. Tyraels were pretty good to counter against Azmodan. That's why Tempo Storm, they picked out Azmodan as the last part. I think that Complexity, they totally did not expect this Azmodan. There is no way they could really stop all of these stacks getting pumped up here for Azmodan.
really trying to make sure they have a lot of survivability for some of the individual backline heroes. Valla grabbing what looks to be a Hungering Arrow style build. If Zeratul is in a position where he isolates Valla in that backline, you could use that Hungering Arrow to duel a little bit better. We're probably going to see that Frost Armor at level 7 for Jaina just to slow down those auto attacks. Some really smart picks going into this.
It's pretty important because there's a Zeratul on the side of Tempo Storm. We're going to make sure that when he jumps in, he doesn't really land those right clicks, and that's going to mitigate some damage against Jaina, because if he does land those clicks, he will get that chill effect on him.
Setting up for another aggressive rotation potentially. Caterpillar with that Night Take spawn ability does a really great job rotating between these two lanes to clear the lanes out quickly. The Orc is no slouch in that department either.
In terms of the laning strategy here, it's pretty clear complexity. They know they're up against that spot, and they change it around a little bit. They're trying to do a good rotation, making sure they can get some early pickups, but it's not very successful so far.
Yeah, with the 0 takedowns in this early portion of the game, not so telling just yet, but they have to continue to put the pressure on. We're looking at probably around the 5-minute mark. What we want to see is somewhere around 100 bonus damage to that ability. So we'll keep an eye on that and give you guys some updates on it.
It's really good to see that you got a Hungering Arrow build coming up from Valla, because that's going to help with the burst potential. Jaina, she has got some slow, but it's going to be up to Tempo Storm to stay safe and not overextend, because there's not enough lockdown speed, but lockdown Zeratul is taken out already.
Yeah, so it looks like the bottom lane, we talked about how much there's going to be some skirmish potential, and the rotations for complexity. They want to make sure they get an early control of these shrines. If they can put some structural pressure onto Tempo Storm in this early part of the game, that's going to back Azmodan up even more.
It's pretty surprising to see that on the top part of this whole battleground here, Zagara is not really having the advantage of pushing a lane out against Underbrag, and that again goes to prove that they have some wave good potential on the Underbrag. We're looking at a Wraith Walk here, Soldier in some trouble, and it seems like he's gonna go down.
Gets taken down, really, really patient play, waiting out that Wraith Walk to make sure they can get the punishment. We see a Cloak getting thrown down. Jacksmith went just barely able to survive that Moonfire. Soldier's gonna be rezzing in just a second.
Oh, Leoring is back right now. Jaina getting slow. Draenhope's gonna connect as well, but Trouble's gonna be fine. We're gonna see some Wraith Walk action, but Soldier's gonna pull back. Drag also the bottom lane, making sure he applies some pressure right there. Zuna's in the mid lane providing some form of defense. The Dragon Knight Shrine is going to the Wraith team right now.
Yes, this means that we're going to see probably a lot more representation from Tempo Storm in that middle area, at least until they can get Zuna up to one of those shrines to contest. Han's not really in the position to bully Zuna back off of that. Cattle looking to really try to get on that shrine. Again, an early Dragon Knight will mean so much for complexity.
3 minutes, 40 seconds into this game. We're going to try and pull up the information here on this tech by Azmodan as much as possible. And once we have that, we'll let you guys know. But we are looking at 2 takedowns for complexity. They're looking very strong in the early game because of a bit of a policy shift here. And that's pretty awesome to see.
Okay, continued rotations. We do see that Malfurion ended up falling in the bottom lane. Again, complexity so good with this, and they know they have to play to the team's strength, and this is absolutely what they have to accomplish in this early game.
Level 7 already for complexity, looking very strong in the early part here. We're looking at a very mixed build for Underbrag, and that's pretty okay. Frost Armor, like you predicted, it is going to be onto the Jaina, and for Valla, it's the full-on Hungering Arrow build.
Again, waiting up in this top lane. Now, once we hit level 7 for Zeratul, that's when he actually gets quite a bit stronger. He has that follow through, the focus attack. His auto attacks get really strong, and they smell blood. They know that Zuna is in this back line.
Uh-oh, Zuna, he gets spotted already. He's going to go down right there.
Continuing to clear out this mid lane. Soldier, they know they have to back up. They're doing a really, really good job controlling this. Actually, 154 bonus damage already. Less than 5 minutes into this game. It seems as though the aggression is there, but they have not slowed down Azmodan at all.
They have not, and this could be scary. Post-stand, we're looking at a lot of damage coming from Tempo stuff, but they have to hold off this aggression right now. 1 full level lead for complexity in the early game. We've seen this before. Every single time complexity gets a lead, they're not going to throw it away.
Yes, they have to be very, very careful. Again, I cannot stress enough that this is the most important set these teams have ever played in Heroes of the Storm. This is their chance to go to BlizzCon 2015.
And it's really important that they play the best right here. We're looking at Lyric with Osin Renewal. This is something I did not expect.
We don't see this too often. That's going to be a little bit of burst. It's sort of like his own version of First Aid, but it can be used while he's in his trait form after he gets taken down. Just make sure that he has even more presence on the battleground.
And also, we're going to see clans come from Malfurion for some utility purposes. That's pretty okay, but complexity, again, threatens the Dragon Knight here.
Over on Complexity side, we do see that Frost Armor picked up, and again, continuing to go with that Hungering Arrow style build. All of this is targeted at Zeratul, making sure that he's not going to be as effective as possible. But in the back line, you still have to keep in mind Azmodan. Have they done enough work to slow us down? They have the level advantage for the time being. That means we have our heroics.
Here we go, and it's going to be Ancestral Healing Blast Shield as well as Cocoon.
Yeah.
And what's Elemental Strafe here as well? There goes the Blast Shield, and it's Impact Soldier's in a lot of trouble. He's going to take the fall right there.
Souls are getting punished so much this game. A really good Blast Shield into Condemn. Caterpillar doing a nice job to isolate some of the members of Tempo Storm. They know they have the advantage right now for the time being with those heroics.
They have a window right here. Can they get the first Dragonite? See Giant also fighting for Complexity on the bottom part of this map. There we go. We have the red shrine right now. Can they go and pick this up? We also see on the top part of this right, KO in some trouble here. Hans with the Impale connecting. And those beetles, they do so much damage.
Summon battles in the top lane. Looks to be a stalemate for the time being, but Zagger is actually going to back up for now. We do have control both of these shrines for Complexity. They're going to send some of their heroes to the mid. They really need to get this first Dragonite of the game.
All right, heroics for Tempo's picked up already, but hold that thought. Soldier in position. He does have March. Is he going to use it? Not just yet. There goes Tranquility. Caterpillar for 3-man condemn. They're looking for more Jaximus behind, but still no real damage from Complexity.
Look at this. Complexity backs up. As soon as they see the Tranquility pop, they know that is a 100-second cooldown for the ability. They weren't able to get anything accomplished with it. This might mean that they can get a little bit more aggressive.
And here we go. Cocoon connecting one target already. There goes the bunch of Black King. Jaximus going to pull back. Athlon's the one inside of Cocoon. He's going to be okay. And the glue connection is going to connect Jaximus. Wow, that damage.
It's really starting to stack up Azmodan. Again, they have been hard at work making sure they have Zeratul applying a little bit of pressure. This means that Complexity has to back up. They have to respect him, his strength as a hero. If they step out a little bit too far trying to punish Azmodan, it's going to get rough.
Yeah, it is, and we're looking at still the full-on double lead here for Complexity. Rotation-wise, both sides doing pretty okay. We're also going to try and check in on Azmodan's stack real soon to get an update on the amount of damage they have. But right now, we're looking at Imminent Soldier mid lane against Caterpillar. This is the classic love story between Johanna and Liuri.
All of a sudden, Tempo Storm is really starting to take battleground control back. Arthur trying to channel, knows that that's my shield. Okay, he gets popped. And great Ancestral!
And there goes the ball. Present Zuna with those plays right here, but they're not going for the Dragonite just yet. We need Anuburak right here, but he's nowhere close. Tamo goes down. There goes the volleyball. Tempo Storm. They have the crowd going for them. Cocoon connect. Oh, one target. Glimmer managed to completely decimate the backline. They have to get out here. We see Selection follow up and connect. This is troublesome. Soldier's gone. And Complexity. They turned it fight. They want more. We're not going to see the glove connect on any more targets.
They do end up trading out Arthon, and the rest of the group are able to back up. This should relinquish control of that top shrine. We're going to see a Nubrack burn charge onto. He needs to get there as fast as possible. Suna right trying to challenge right now. Is he going to get it? No, it's broken by a Nubrack in the top lane.
Wow, top shrine. Big play by Hans. He knew he had a window there. He just went for it. Now Zuna coming by to punish that Trader King. But looking at Nubrack with the barrel charge. Can he run away? I don't really think so. And it's down he goes.
Punishing that play. Very smart for the two heroes to rotate up to the top lane. In the bottom lane, it looks as though we're going to have control back going to Complexity. So it's sort of like this ring around the rosy type of deal with the shrines. No one team being able to control for the time being.
Oh, Soldier mid lane. He's just doing so much work in this game right here. And we mentioned about that level lead in the pre-10 stages. It's almost looking like Tempo Storm, they just equalized this game.
Triple Spell Shield was picked up at level 13 for Complexity. That's absolutely targeted at Azmodan.
We definitely have some answers right there. We're also going to look at the stack. It's 288 in under 10 minutes. Looking very good for Tempo Storm right now.
Yeah, not enough has been done from Complexity to slow this down. They have a very slight experience lead. Still have not given up a lot structurally, but the fact that these globes have run away so far, they're almost able to clear out the Giants in one shot.
Wow, that is scary. I will not want to be on the receiving end of that basketball-looking thing. We got this equalize going on, 10 minutes in already. And we've got level 14 for Complexity, just barely. They don't really have talent lead right now. They're going to have to play it safe. They were very aggressive in the early game, but here it is slowly becoming a problem. Global Annihilation may not be what they want to look for.
Continues to clear out entire waves with a single ability, as long as that black pool is underneath it, which empowers Azmodan's abilities.
Athlon throws the basketball up. No, he's not going to get anyone right there. But clearly we got Zuna taking care of the Sun Shrine on top there.
We know that this is Tempo Storm's strongest map, and so far they are executing it perfectly, continuing to stall the game out as long as possible. They haven't lost any structures despite having this Azmodan strategy, which is absolutely targeted for the late game.
Tempo Storm, they're just buying time right here. We're looking at a very good late game for Tempo Storm, and it's just really impressive the way that they instantly flip on both shrines at the same time and go for the Dragon Knight. That is something most teams cannot do.
Starting to see a rotation to the bottom lane. Caterpillar has the overextended. You do see, yes, the all-shell burn is good enough, and it takes down Johanna.
We have the Shrine again, bottom top, taking a trade here. Complexity losing Johanna. They may have some trouble defending the top Shrine. You can bet Tempo Storm, they are on the right right now, the mid and top lane.
And the rotation back up. Malfurion actually leading the charge. Hans has got to know he has to back up. Can't stay a little bit too aggressive up there.
We got some
Very tense moment.
We got some pretty awesome talents coming next. The Ice Block from Malfurion, that's going to help him stay safe while the top Tranquility. Also, it looks to be very standard coming up from Azmodan. He's going to get some mobility there with the all-shell burn. That's really good to see. Athlon, his stacks is already up to 400!
So let me give you guys a little bit of background. The record that has been set for maxing out at that 500 bonus damage is 11.5 minutes on Tomb of the Spider Queen. And we see the first dragon has been picked up for Tempo Storm. They are playing amazingly in this early game.
This is risky. They got Draenei in that dragon right there. Means no heals for the next few minutes right here. If they really want to take a fight amongst any of the other members, they can do that. But Tempo Storm, they get level 16 first, and this is what I call the comeback story.
All right, those level 16 talents picking up. We're going to see a little bit more survivability on Zeratul with that Stone Skin, more root control. So if they're able to land those amazing roots in the back, line in trouble!
Oh, we have the Ice Block. Jaina, she's going to have to walk away. Is there any help? Little Frosty right there is going to try and do something. May not be enough. Dreadnought is actually at the mid lane doing a lot of damage. The rest of Tempo Storm at the bottom lane plowing through those structures. Trouble with his new best friend is going to try and look to do some damage here.
Zuna trying to get some cheeky play in the back line. 432 bonus damage now for Azmodan. Moving into this, the Dragon still continuing to pressure in this mid lane. They're not trying to overextend at all. Like you mentioned, Babel, they don't have their support right now, so they cannot take any really aggressive team fights.
Oh, Complexity gonna have to
Look at that damage!
Wow. They're gonna have to be prepared right now because we have the Malfurion back, and we're gonna lose there to Zuna's got the Markma will connect. Can Trouble do something? Oh my God, that's so baby. We're looking at some extra damage here against Dreadnought. No damage on the side. That puts up. Then we have the Ice Block, Tranquility pop up, and Azmodan just doing the dance right there. He's doing the Harlem Shake, and another blow, but not gonna connect. Dread has to leave here, but he does not. Caterpillar has to pull back. We're looking yet another. Pew left the beat, and Caterpillar in a lot of trouble. Will go down.
That's one point hit on Trouble.
So
But this only leaves the two members of Complexity alive at this point. Tempo Storm can take an aggressive stance moving forward.
Yeah, you really want to go in and nail those globes right there. Some were on point, some were not, but we can look to more damage as Azmodan stacks right now stands at 470.
It's going to really start having an impact. And what I really want to point attention to is when we hit that 500 damage mark, that's when Tempo flips the switch and says, we're going aggro. We are going to give you so much pressure you cannot deal with. There's no way you can out-heal the amount of damage these globes are going to dish out.
You know, Athlon, he's been doing a Super Saiyan charge all game. He's going to get a level over 9,000 real soon. I cannot wait to see that.
Super Saiyan 3 Arthon's a very scary thought moving into it. We just see some Hearthing back. Again, they're waiting out their time. Almost at the maximum amount of stacks, 494. And again, we're going to see that moment where Tempo Storm just gets incredibly aggressive.
Complexity. This lineup is supposed to do them good once they hit level 16. But against Azmodan, they don't really have a shot here. We'll have to see if those gloves will connect. Caterpillar pulls back, pops the Iron Skin. Rest of the team is already in his vicinity. They may want to fight. Go see the glove connects. But some heals is going to make that okay and bearable. We're also going to see Singularity Spike on Johanna. She has to go back right here.
The longer these fights drag out, the worse it gets for Complexity. We're going to see another glove get thrown in not too long from now. There it is. It hits over the wall. Hans is going to be all right for the time being. Those spell shields are actually doing a lot of work to mitigate some of that damage. Again, after a spell is hitting that, triggers for 3 seconds of 50% damage reduction to any incoming spells.
Yeah, Complexity gaining ground right here. There goes another glove. Boom! Some damage on Jaina there. And Zuna goes in, tries to pick up a kill, not going to get it. Blast kill as well. And there goes the Cocoon. And the Void Breather on steps right in. We're going to see Arsenal come back on Blackpool. And another glove. It does connect. And Santo, well done. And this is a problem. Complexity, they have to get out. We have March of the Black King. Hans is going to be okay for a little bit, but Trouble is also going to take the ball behind. We're going to see the ice skate. Another glove. This fireball. The
blocks. No, not quite. Carol not going to get the essential healing in time. It gets taken down. The 3-0 for Tempo Storm. Really want to highlight an amazing cleanse that was actually thrown out. Really taking out Zeratul in those fights early is going to be a big deal. We saw the Blessed Shield actually get thrown onto him, but Dread cleansed it almost immediately, taking away all of the crowd control available there.
Big plays by Dread. And then we have level 20 for Tempo Storm. Looking very good right now. We have a structural possible takedown here, and that will be the keep at the bottom lane.
And that also Burn really doing its mark on the structure and having a key taken down at this point. And no structures have fallen on Tempo Storm's side. If there was any question as to how well Tempo Storm was playing,
whoa,
it's not anymore.
Zuna is just teasing right here. He's going to get a Dragonite at the end. We're looking at a possible bottom lane finish for Tempo Storm. Complexity hanging on to the first game's life right now. They have to make sure they get level 20. If not, they will definitely be in a lot of trouble for this next fight. We got max stacks on Asmodean and a globe will connect on Blink. Some extra damage there, but not very significant just yet.
Still have the 2 spell shields available on the Nuvarak and the Ball as well. Trommel, you see he's hiding in this position. They know they have to make an aggressive play. They got to make something desperate happen. And there is the flank and a great ball!
It does connect on a Jaina. Blast you will connect as well. Caterpillar making sure that the whole team gets some super, but they still don't have those top talent. And then etc. It's a complete whip again. We get Trommel in a lot of trouble. Zuna goes in, pick that one up. Hans now in some trouble. Yet another match with the Black King. And Nuvarak is going to be okay with the spell shields popping.
Jack Smith gets taken down to the back line. A 3-for-1 advantage for Tempo Storm for the time being. Are they going to move into this keep, or are they going to try to pressure and end the game right here?
We still need that level 20. Upper complexity, 3 members down. Can they still hold off this aggression for the next 35 seconds?
They know they have such a huge advantage at this point, especially, like you mentioned, with those Storm talents picked up at level 20. So much mobility.
They're just capitalizing right now. If you look at Asmodean's last 2 talent pickups, those are some really good push potential.
Yes, and that's why we see these Generals of Hell pushing in the top lane, grabbing Mercenaries in the bottom. They're slowly strangling Complexity out from this win.
In terms of kill count, it's not so obvious just yet. We're looking at 12:9. But Complexity, they're not out for the count yet. One good fight, post level 20, they are still in this game.
Decided not to grab the Giants. They really want to time out a very strong push in the bottom lane. They're going to grab these bruisers and time the grab. Dreadnought is just waiting, making sure that none of the heroes on the enemy team go up to grab it. And with this massive mercenary push, with Asmodean wailing away with those globes, it is going to be a very difficult defense.
And finally, we see that level 20 coming out here for Complexity. The biggest problem I think Complexity face is that all of the forts and keeps are still up on Tempo Storm's side.
Yes, the structural advantage is quite significant. I will have to warn Tempo Storm, if they cannot drag this game out too long, eventually there's going to be points where they might make mistakes, and they have a massive advantage right now. I want to see them push hard.
Oh, we're going to see Vala both out of trouble there. She's going to be okay for now. Also, the Bruiser Camp getting taken care of by Tempo Storm. Some great maneuvers here by that team.
Continuing to push in the top line, taking every mercenary camp they possibly can. They know the Dragon is back up. This is the safest way for Tempo Storm to play. They have such map control that they know they can go up and take these mercenary camps in the top lane.
Yeah, we have Arcane Power for Jaina, by the way. That is not one of the stuff. That instantly restores 400 mana and increase the ability power by 15% for 5 seconds. That's a burst Jaina we're looking at.
That is a play that we do not, that's a talent we almost never see picked up, and there's good reason for it. They know that they are in a deficit right now. They have to make some kind of crazy play. We already see Trommel starting to position himself for some of those flanks, something he as a player is really, really known for, and he can turn games around, but we have to see them set up that positioning. Right now, they've just been on the back foot the entire time.
Yeah, we can also bet that, hold that thought, Hans is holding the aggression. Optimon's gonna get a Dragonite yet again. This is troublesome for Complexity. Can they save on this aggression as the Dragonite is marching ahead onto the raid base?
Slowly pushing in, trying to bait out some of the members of Complexity. We don't have those globes, so keep that in mind. They don't quite have that burst potential, but they can also set up plays for Zeratul to get into the backline. Trommel looking for his positioning. Zuna is going to use the Void Prison.
The Void Prison on 3, and the Ice Block on Jaina. She's not gonna get anything done. There goes the root. Tranquility. The Cocoon is gonna connect on the Dragonite. That's one big Cocoon, but Jackson will be the pull out. I don't think Complexity is still out yet. The Dragonite still knocking. There goes the Ancestral. They will connect. Drag drops a little bit of HP there, but will burn out of trouble. Soldier goes in on Blink. Blink goes out. The healer's gone. Fallar's gone. Complexity is level 2 members. Caterpillar still holding the aggression. position, but can he chase down Zuna? Zuna will take the fall indestructible from, but the core is already at 30%, and Absalom doing his signature FO dance right now.
Tempo Storm